There are not many days where I'm a fan of waking up in the suburbs, but when I'm here in Bozeman, Montana, I like to make an exception because it feels pretty good to be back. Depending on how long you've been watching my videos, you might know that Bozeman, Montana is the last place that was my home base, my last home until before I moved onto the road. 2.5 years of my Volkswagen Golf, then bought this van about 6.5 months ago, and have been to all 50 states in America since then. Hosted group trips literally across the world now. Been to Alaska, just got back from Greece recently, and now I'm back here because I'm getting my motorcycle license in a couple days, and I'm hanging out my old stomping grounds, and it's so fun to come back, man. Like, this little stream leads to where my old apartment was, so I would buy literally a tire tube from a tire shop, and I would float down this stream dragging on the bottom of the gravel all the way down. I called it the Jungle Boat Cruise. This is one of the few cities that I had a lot of fun in back in the day, so it was really fun to be back. I wanted to take you a little tour around my old stomping grounds, and also take a little bit of a hike to a place that I've never been to before, and a mountain lake I've never been to before that is like pristine conditions right now. So let's get started. Since 2020, Montana has become one of the most moved to states in America, with over 48,000 people moving here from other states last year. And Bozeman, Montana in particular, where I filmed this video, is the fastest growing city in the country, which is unbelievable. This has led to a lot of changes in the state, for sure. Like, one of the examples I can give is while I was here on this trip, right before I went on this hike, I walked into a field and there was a movie set out there where I think they were filming the show Yellowstone. There were beautiful actresses and actors everywhere. It was like Hollywood had come to Montana. So it's definitely a new Montana experience when you come back here these days. But you can hopefully see from the video clips, it's still one of the most beautiful places in the country and in the world. And it's probably still my favorite state in the Union. A lot of new changes coming, but one of the big reasons Montana is still one of the best places in the world is because it has access to places just like this. There are some places that are so beautiful that you feel like you have to whisper to preserve some of the peace that exists in places like this, because like, it's so special, you don't want to spoil it. Okay, that hike took so long that I just tried to go eat breakfast at my favorite breakfast restaurant and found out it's currently 1:45 p.m. in the afternoon. I woke up at like 7:30 this morning. All right, so my favorite breakfast restaurant, called the Farmer's Daughter Cafe, just in case you want to check them out, is closed. So I gotta go find a place to get food and not starve to death now, and now I don't know where to go. So let's go find it together. I guess, here we go. It's been a long day of hiking, but we finally found food. This is a lamb burger from the new restaurant that I've never been to before. This place used to be my normal hangout when I would come work whenever I was in Bozeman, but they took all my outlets away. And now we have lamb burgers, so let's see how it is. Whoa. Oh my gosh, that's a damn good burger. Wow. I think I'm gonna go find a little bit more food shortly here, but in the meantime, let me walk over and show you my old apartment where I lived for a full year before moving onto the road full time. Wow, it's crazy how much things have changed, man. Back in 2021, I was living here. Those apartment complexes, I'll show you the exact place, but this whole parking lot used to be a pretty field that I would walk across every morning to go through that little alley and do my morning work right down there. Now it's a huge parking lot with a grocery store that you just gotta ask, like, did we really need another grocery store? The other one's like a mile that way, maybe not even, and we built another one. The urban sprawl is unbelievable. Just 3 years, all this is happening. Hundreds of new apartments, new grocery store, fields being paved over. A little bit sad. Here we are at my old apartment complex. This place right up here with the lawn chairs on top of it was my old apartment where I lived for a year. And I remember the first time I watched a scary movie, Annabelle, The Awakening, sitting in that apartment up there when I had my old Netflix subscription. And I came outside and I slept in my car because I felt so scared to sleep in a house for some reason. And it was the lesson I learned was that cars don't get haunted. First night I ever spent in my car was right there in that spot. And then it led into literally being on the road for 3.5 years and going to all 50 states in the country. This is where it all started, man. They raised my rent up to $2,300 a month. It was $1,600 a month when I moved in, which I'd never paid more than $600 a month in rent. So it was a huge financial jump for me. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it happen. And I came here and I spent a year totally alone with no safety net, just figuring out how to adult. And I paid $1,600 a month for the full year. Moved in first months, last months, did copywriting. I remember walking around to the local grocery stores thinking I'd need to get a job at the grocery store to pay my rent a few months. And I always made it happen through my copywriting career. And eventually I moved into my car when they raised the rent up to $2,300 a month, and I realized I haven't seen enough of the country yet to know that this is where I want to live yet. And now I'm so happy I don't live in an apartment complex like this. There's so many better places to be, up on top of mountains, watching sunsets, just incredible places that all started at this very spot. So it's really cool to think about. So let's walk back across the ugly parking lot that they built in my pretty field and go get a little bit more dinner before we call it a night, find a good place to sleep. I went to a sushi restaurant this night and I was feeling so proud of myself using chopsticks, even though I was stabbing my pot stickers with them as I was getting my appetizer. But then I got my sushi and I absolutely nuked my sinuses on a wasabi bomb. Like, man, I have not felt this sort of sushi pain ever. It was so bad. You can see my face looking in the camera right now. I was so unhappy, but this is what happens when you haven't been to sushi forever. You have to maintain some level of sushi prowess if you're going to go back to these places on random nights, or else it hurts. After sushi, I headed down to do my evening ritual when I'm in a van, no matter where I am in the country, anywhere in the world, and that is to wash myself in the creek. When you live in a metal box in the middle of summer, especially when it's a hot summer like it has been in Montana with 95, 100-degree days, you sweat a lot, and when you're not getting a hotel room every night, then you still got to find a way to smell good to be respectful of society, right? So this is what I do almost every night. I find a river. I choose my favorite towns in the country based off of where I can find the best little rivers and soaking areas. And while Bozeman doesn't have the most water, it does have this little spot that I come back to almost all the time when I'm in Bozeman. And it's fantastic. Plus, I'm freaking shredded right now, and it makes me proud to watch these video clips. I just slipped back into my van after a little dip in the creek right down here because I don't like to draw too much attention to myself when I'm in the city walking around filming with a camera and all this stuff. But it's just been so hot that I have to get in this stream down here every day. So that's it for this video, guys. If you watched this far in it, thank you so much for getting here. And if you want to come on a group trip with me to the next place I'm headed right now after I'm done taking my motorcycle test in Bozeman, I'm going to do a group trip in Vermont, renting an Airbnb, hosting a group trip for basically whoever wants to come. You just pitch in and pay for the freaking epic Airbnb we're going to get. It's like a mansion with maple syrup pancakes and a private chef and all this stuff. You just click the link in the bio and you can apply. Make sure you're a good fit to come. So that's interesting to you, do that, but that'll do it for the video. Stay wild, be free, and if you're not living the van life yet, it's the best life I've lived so far. All right, night.